It took me a few times to get started with this project because it can get a little confusing, but I just traced a lid at a good size that I wanted to use. I created three half circles around the edges and then overlapped those with another set that I tucked underneath the top one so it looks like it's going under. And from there, I just created some more little circles, sometimes full circles, sometimes half circles, interwoven around those initial two webs that I created at the top. From there, I just continue to keep adding the lines to create the webbing that I wanted or needed to make sure that my half circles look like they were overlapped by the top ones. I just kept going, getting smaller and smaller. What will really help once you're doing this is the values. We're going to do the really dark values in the smallest areas and build up from there, getting lighter and lighter till we get to the very top part that has nothing that's overlapping it. That will be white. So as you can see, everything is underneath that initial set of half circles. And you always want to tuck everything behind those and create distance or space. That is the goal for this one. And I'm using a 4B pencil, an eraser, and just a plain piece of paper. And you can just do this once or you can do this over and over again. But I'm going to show you the shading here in a second. That I like the composition, I'm going to start shading with the darkest value first. So I'm going to press pretty hard and get a really nice dark value. And I only want to shade the darkest areas, the smallest or farthest away in these layers, stacks and stacks of circles. So the circles that are farther away from us are smaller, and the ones that are closest to you are larger. So these little small circles that are way down underneath are going to be shaded the darkest. Remember, our value scale is dark to light. So, and then I just created a small sample here with the midtone in the middle and then the colors that you would find in between. Your goal with this drawing is to go through all of these different values and add them to create that depth or the illusion of layers and layers of circles stacked on top of each other. that I have all the farthest away areas, the darkest, I'm starting with the webbing that is the lowest level, and that is going to be the next darkest value. So I'm going to shade all those little areas, making sure if it looks like it's going to have a shadow from something above it, casting a shadow down upon it, to make sure those edges are darker where it would have a shadow on it. So make sure you shade not everything, but just the smallest, lowest level of that webbing underneath. So imagine these are like stencils that you have stacked up, and you can see all the different areas of the stencil underneath, and layers of stencils cut out. So I'm creating those values. So the next layer would be even lighter, the next layer lighter, until you get to the top and final layer, which will remain white. Once I've finished with that lowest level of webbing, I move on to the next one, making sure my value is lighter than the level before. And you'll see me repeat this process until I get to the very top.